You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but everybody keeps telling me that Paige Bueckers is going to move the needle in the WNBA in the same way that Caitlin Clark did. Well, maybe she will, but I know one thing. In college, nah, that needle ain't moving. That needle didn't shiver compared to Caitlin Clark. The other day I did the video about the gargantuan difference in ratings between the Final Four and the Final Four game that Clark was involved with. Well, it's every bit as bad for UConn and South Carolina versus Caitlin Clark last year. And it is a big, big difference again. And we're going to look at a chart in a minute, which is a Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers chart on viewership. And it is jaw-dropping. It is jaw-dropping. It wasn't the Caitlin Clark effect, but it was still pretty impressive. Look, I got to be honest. This 8.5 million viewers that they drew on Sunday, I'm not going to lie, that's more than I thought it would be. I mean, so I guess if we're going to give them any flowers, they drew a bigger rating than I thought they were going to. So there's that, which was the third most in tournament's history per ESPN, but it was a steep decline from last year's game and a slight drop from 2023's matchup. So 2023 and 2024 both whipped this particular game. The 8.5 million viewership was, however, more than 4.9 million viewers that UConn and South Carolina brought in the last time they played in the title game, which was 2022. So, I mean, it nearly doubled those ratings from 2022. The Huskies got dominated from start to finish, particularly in the second half. We all saw Don Staley's meltdown. The title game in 2024 brought in a record-setting 18.9 million viewers as fans watched Don Staley's South Carolina team complete an undefeated season and beat the Clark-led Iowa Hawkeyes 87-75. Even with Staley's Gamecocks taking on another superstar in Paige Bueckers and UConn, led by great coach Gino Auriemma, the game could not stack up to 2024's. The 2023 championship, LSU and Angel Reese took down Iowa and Clark. 102.85 drew 9.9 million viewers. So that was a 1.5 million viewership difference even between the 2023 game. And that one had Angel and Clark in it, right? So, two things. Number one, Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy, the owner, of course, Dave's into all kinds of things. In case you did not know this, John Gruden's QB camp returned last night on Barstool. My God, it was great. It was a fantastic viewing. My jaw dropped. It was so good. So, Dave Portnoy, he just calls it like he sees it right here. You see this, 18.9 million viewers. Paige Bueckers, 8.5 million viewers. I'm going to need all the race baiters who explain Caitlin Clark's popularity simply because she's white to explain why 10 million more people watched last year than Paige Bueckers, also white, this year. I'll hang up and listen. Yeah, there's not going to be much of a response on that. It's not. It's kind of funny because Bueckers is going to be sort of a great white hope for the wokes on the WNBA side, the old guard. They're going to wrap their loving arms around her. All right. Why? I don't know, because I know she's virtue signaled out there many, many times, and maybe that's the reason. I think somebody they didn't exactly say she just bent the knee right off the bat, but it was something similar to that. And that's why she's so popular among the anti-Caitlin Clark crowd. So, this account at No Wisdom Teeth. That's really good. That's really good. At No Wisdom Teeth. Put up this chart. This is Paige Bueckers versus Caitlin Clark on the rating scale. And you can see Caitlin Clark's indicated in the yellow. There is a huge, huge difference. I mean, right here, the Final Four game, a little over 14 million versus 6 million. I mean, that's 8 million people. And then you get around to the championship game, and it's 10 million people. So you can see right here, guys, it has never, ever been close between these two on viewership at all. So that narrative can just die an ugly death. Of course, ESPN put this out, right? They put this out, didn't mention 2023 or 2024 at all. They just put out their third most watched NCAA Women's National Championship on ESPN's platform. This guy just come out and said the quiet part out loud, right? So that's 10 million down on Caitlin Clark. Iowa against SC in the 2024 game. The trend continues. Iowa versus LSU was higher also. Iowa versus UConn, Final Four was 14.2 million. There's Caitlin Clark's numbers. Then everyone else's numbers. 8.5 is a good showing, though. Yeah, I mean, it is a good showing. I don't think we can come on here and act like that's not a substantial amount of viewers. I mean, that game will easily outdraw every NBA game this season, regular season. I mean, seriously, even Christmas Day. I mean, that game, do they even still play on Christmas Day? The NFL's pushed the NBA out the door there, too. But you get my point. I mean, 8.5, that's real viewership. It is. It's not close to what Caitlin Clark brings. It's not. And I actually predict I could see a world where Caitlin Clark hits a 4 million viewership game in the WNBA this year. I think that may exist. We did not see it at all last year. We saw 3.54 million for the All-Star game and a bunch of 2 millions in there, which is, I mean, look, anything over 1 million is like, a rarity in the WNBA. Even now, before any of their fans want to jump out there, I think one non-Caitlin Clark game had over 1 million viewers. So, we'll see. The actual All-Star game this year, could they hit 5 million viewers in that game? Could they beat the NBA All-Star game, which is a disaster, but I think it got, 4 million and some change, 4.8, something like that. So I'm really interested to see now as we move past NC2A ball, what's the WNBA ratings going to look like with Caitlin Clark this year? Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.